10 years ago, world leaders adopted the Millennium Declaration and its 8 goals, committing themselves to what they wish to be an unprecedented effort to tackle global poverty in its many dimensions. This was a landmark achievement for the international community, and for the past decade, the 8 MDGs, with their 21 targets and their 60 indicators, have been the blueprint, both at international and at national level, for channeling global efforts to address the development needs of the world's poorest countries. The 192 UN members will meet again at the UN headquarters in September this year to take stock of the progress achieved, to identify the main gaps and challenges under each of them, and to plan the next steps as we approach the 2015 deadline, which was initially fixed for achieving these MDGs. Substantial efforts have been invested during the last 10 years, cooperation not only between national governments, but also between all international and regional organizations, as well as strong civil society engagement, have contributed to progress on individual goals. But there is no doubt much more needs to be done. We're still a long distance from the main objective of reducing global poverty by half. Sure, significant progress has been made, especially in Asia, but the global financial and economic crisis has already negated some of this work, pushing more people below the poverty line and casting a shadow over the achievement of the MDGs. By creating a stable multilateral trading system, the WTO is at the forefront of efforts to create an enabling environment for countries to grow and develop. The market access opportunities which international trade can provide, when accompanied by matching domestic policies, can ensure that international trade helps to create jobs, leads to enhanced levels of growth, improves living standards, and helps countries achieve their social and developmental objectives. So it's not surprising that international trade, and by extension the work of the World Trade Organization, features prominently in these MDGs. WTO core activities fall mainly within the targets set in MDG number 8. These targets show that the international community recognizes global trade as an important engine for development. They also acknowledge that for the trading system to deliver real economic growth effectively, it needs to be, and I quote the MDG, open, rules-based, predictable, and non-discriminatory. And this forms the cornerstone of Target A within this MG 8, and is extremely closely corresponds to the WTO's core business of regulating international trade, reducing market access barriers, and ensuring a better level playing field for all its members. Furthermore, in keeping with Target B of this MDG number 8, that is addressing the special needs of least developed countries, the WTO is committed to working towards enhancing the benefits that can accrue to the poorest of its members. In addition, the WTO also has a work program for the small island developing states, and contributes regularly to the international efforts to address the needs of landlocked developing countries, keeping with target C of this MDG 8. We also have contributed to the attainment of target E of this MDG 8, which aims to improve access to affordable medicines. WTO members, as you may know, have agreed to an amendment of WTO law that allows developing countries easier access to essential drugs. But WTO contributions to the achievement of MDGs go beyond MDG 8. And in fact, the MDGs cannot be seen in isolation. They are all interconnected. The WTO activities also have an impact on MDG 7, which aims to ensure environmental sustainability and to protect biodiversity. WTO members are also presently, within the Doha round, pursuing negotiations that explore the relationship between trade and the environment, and negotiations that aim at reducing specifically barriers to trade in environmental goods and services. So, I think it's clear that a lot of the work being done in the WTO is linked directly or indirectly to the MDGs. But it would be amiss on my part if in this context I didn't mention two other very important components of the WTO ongoing activities, which have an important implication in helping countries achieve their MDGs, namely an early and development-oriented conclusion of the Doha round, and the complementary initiative on aid for trade. So in sum, if and when the Doha round is concluded, the multilateral trading system will be more open, particularly for developing countries' exports, and will have a stronger rules-making structure that will make it more balanced, especially towards developing countries' interests and concerns. So a successful conclusion of the round would therefore further help these countries in their quest for the achievement of their MDGs, and in particular the fight to alleviate poverty. Now, of course, while the conclusion of the round would create market access opportunities, for these to translate into real gains, developing countries, and in particular least developed countries, still need assistance to build their supply side capacities and to improve their trade-related infrastructure. And this is the very rationale behind the launch of the Aid for Trade initiative by the WTO in 2005. At its core, Aid for Trade is about providing financial and technical assistance to developing countries to enable them to produce more so that they can trade better. Through the Aid for Trade initiative, the WTO, in partnership with other international organizations, which we sort of coach, is playing an important role in helping developing countries increase their share of world trade and thereby, again, come closer to fulfilling their development aspirations. So I sincerely believe that a rapid conclusion of the round can go a long way in supporting countries in their quest to achieve the goals set out in the Millennium Declaration, the further opening of markets, the further strengthening of global rules that will come about, will contribute in a fundamentally important way to the long-term health of the global economy and to the development aspirations of many countries. It's also critical that the level of aid for trade flows is sustained in the future, which is why the Toronto G20 commitment to, I quote, maintain momentum for aid for trade, unquote, is to be welcomed. G20 members thus recognize that the impact of the crisis on both developed and developing countries only reinforces the need for sustainable and predictable aid for trade commitments. So in conclusion, and before we go to the more interactive part of this session, let me say that WTO remains focused, committed to a successful and outcome-oriented MDG summit in September, which in my view constitutes an important juncture for the international community to reflect on achievements so far and to act on challenges which remain. The WTO main contribution will be in the MDG 8, as I said, through a timely and successful conclusion of the round, and in the further strengthening of the multilateral trading system. We will, at the same time, also continue to work with other international organizations in as coherent way as possible to push for the achievement of all the other MDGs. A globally strong, harmonious, cooperative effort remains needed if the MDGs are to be achieved, and the WTO is deeply committed towards supporting these efforts. Thank you for your attention.